Help me to reach 2,000 subscribers. When I unfolded the crumpled hotel receipt from Emily's purse, my heart froze. Room service, breakfast for 2, it read. Dated the same morning she'd told me she had an early conference meeting. My throat tightened. 2 breakfasts. 1 room. And a lie wrapped in her practiced smile. The paper trembled in my hand as I read it again, hoping the ink would change, that I'd somehow misread it. But it didn't. 2 breakfasts. I could almost hear the clink of cutlery, the soft laughter over coffee, the sound of her voice saying she missed me while sitting across from someone else. Emily had left 3 days ago for a business trip to Chicago. She kissed me before leaving, her perfume lingering like a promise. Don't stay up too late working again, she'd said with that tender smirk I used to fall for. But something about the kiss felt rehearsed. Too smooth, too careful. Now, standing in our kitchen under the dim yellow light, I felt my world begin to tilt. The hum of the refrigerator filled the silence as I stared at that receipt, the quietest evidence of betrayal I could imagine. No lipstick stains, no texts, no photos. Just 2 breakfasts. When she returned 2 days later, she looked radiant. A little too radiant. Her skin glowed, her laugh had an ease I hadn't heard in months. The meetings went great, she said, tossing her bag on the counter. We might be landing the client. I forced a smile. That's great. Long trip. She shrugged. Just tiring. You know how corporate travel is. Bland rooms, bad coffee. I nodded, staring at her bag. The same bag that had held the receipt. My stomach knotted as I imagined someone else's hands tangled in her hair, someone else watching her sleep. That night, I couldn't stop thinking about it. I lay awake, watching the faint outline of her body beside me in the dark. I used to find comfort in that silhouette, now it made me ache. I could hear her breathing, slow and even, like nothing was wrong. By morning, I had convinced myself I was overreacting. Maybe she'd ordered for a coworker. Maybe the receipt was printed wrong. I clung to those maybes like a drowning man reaching for driftwood. But the driftwood broke the next day. Emily's phone buzzed while she was in the shower. Normally, I never touched it. Trust was supposed to be sacred. But after the receipt, trust had become a ghost. I hesitated before picking it up. One notification. A text from Dee. Next time, let's skip breakfast and stay in bed longer. The words blurred as tears welled up in my eyes. My chest burned, my hands shaking so violently I almost dropped the phone. The sound of the shower running felt miles away. I wanted to scream, to confront her, but a twisted calm settled over me instead. I took a screenshot, sent it to my email, then placed her phone back exactly where it was. I sat on the edge of the bed, staring at the floor, trying to understand where everything had gone wrong. When she came out, wrapped in a towel, her eyes softened at the sight of me. You okay? Yeah, I said quietly. Just thinking. She smiled, kissed my forehead, and walked away, her center weapon now. For the next few days, I played the part of the loving husband. I cooked dinner, laughed at her stories, listened as she talked about work. But every word from her lips felt like poison disguised as honey. I studied her expressions, searching for guilt, for cracks in her perfect performance. There were none. She had mastered the art of deceit. One evening, I finally broke the silence. You ever feel like we're drifting? I asked. She frowned slightly. What do you mean? I don't know. Just, something feels different. She placed her hand on mine. We're fine, Alex. You worry too much. Her eyes were gentle, and for a brief, shameful moment, I wanted to believe her. But the ghost of that text still whispered in my mind. 2 nights later, she said she had to stay late at work. I followed her. Her car led me to a downtown hotel. I parked across the street, heart hammering. Rain tapped against the windshield like a ticking clock. She stepped out, checked her phone, then entered the lobby. 5 minutes later, a man in a gray suit joined her. Tall, confident, familiar. Her coworker, Daniel, the same one she always mentioned with a laugh that lasted a little too long. They hugged. Not a friendly hug. The kind of embrace that carries secrets. I sat there, numb, as they disappeared into the elevator together. Every part of me screamed to storm in, to expose them, to make her feel the same pain she'd buried in my chest. But I didn't. I just watched the elevator doors close. The next morning, she returned home, hair damp from a shower that wasn't ours. She kissed my cheek. "Morning," she said, as if nothing had happened. I smiled faintly. "How was work?" "Exhausting," she replied, yawning. I slid the hotel receipt across the table. Her face drained of color. Then I laid my phone down, showing her the text from Daniel. For a long moment, she said nothing. Just stared at me, lips parted, guilt flickering in her eyes like a dying flame. "I didn't mean to," she began. I stood up, cutting her off. "You meant every second of it. You just didn't mean for me to find out." Her tears came then, fast, messy, desperate. But I felt nothing. No anger, no love. Just an empty, echoing silence inside my chest. She reached for my hand. "Alex, please." I stepped back. "You should have ordered one breakfast." Her sobs filled the kitchen as I walked out the door. And that was the last time I ever heard her voice.